Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I am sharing with you guys my full Assetto Corsa CSP and graphics in general settings. Of course, all of these are up to date on Ilya's brand new CSP 1.76 Preview 1 build of custom shaders packs. Sold 2.1.03, something like that. Or 2.1.3, something again along those lines. Basically everything new and up to date. As well as you can see, we're going to be showing you guys how to get these beautiful nighttime reflections on Sebastian Vettel's Aston Martin. Beautiful rain reflections and puddle reflections. Colored shadowing on your cars, so if they have colored banners. Interior, you're going to see those blue, rainbow, red, whatever shadows you need, whatever colors are above you, you're going to see projected in your car. Everything that you need to basically bring Assetto Corsa up to 2021 game graphics quality standards, pretty much. So without further ado, enough talking. This is going to be probably a pretty long video, so let's get right into it. So the first thing that you're going to want is the Photorealistic FIlter by Javier. I think that's how you say it. Basically, this is one that I actually found. Kudos to Sir Spats Gaming. It's super nice, it's super balanced, and it doesn't have that hazy effect that Horizon Shades Classic, which is the one I used to use for a while, had, which I never really fully enjoyed. But Photorealistic pretty much ticks all the boxes for me. Now, PP filters are, of course, personal preference, but this is just the one I use, and a lot of you guys have actually been recently asking for what filters I use on my videos, so Photorealistic is the new one I've used on the last couple of them. Now that you have that installed, of course, drag and drop just like every other PP filter. Let's jump right into my content manager settings. Okay, so when you are in your content manager, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to head over to settings right here and Assetto Corsa. And you're going to want to go to video right here. And I'm going to pause, let you guys look at this. You're going to want to just copy down all of these settings, and in the future when we go into custom shaders patch settings, anything that is in red you need to change, and then anything I show you that is white or any like preset that I show you or setting, if things are just white, it means I have not changed them. So if you want to get my exact settings down, then you can do that. Now, a few things. I would turn on limit frame rate personally, because whatever hertz or refresh rate your monitor is, you're not going to see above that. So I just have mine on 144, which is what mine is. So put that, I would say, to whatever you have, whether it's a 60 hertz monitor, 165, 240, 300, whatever it is. Put your FPS limit there. Now, as you can see in my last thing, I got 75 frames a second, 74 frames a second is my average. I have a Ryzen 5 2600X and an RTX 2060 Super. So just keep that in mind when you are going through these. There are a few things that you can toggle. Heat shimmering on and off is one thing. I've gone back and forth with it on and off, but right now I actually kind of like it off. Motion blur, I don't know really why you'd want it on, but it is, you can turn it on if you want. And then as you can see, my filter is photorealistic. It's one that I've actually discovered recently thanks to Sir Spats Gaming. I didn't actually have ever really heard of this one. I was using A3PP and Horizon Shades, kind of bouncing between them. But I actually really like where photorealistic is at, and as you guys saw by the beginning gameplay, it looks pretty nice. Now let's go on to CSP settings. Of course, CSP 1.76 Preview 1 just came out, so we are on that now. If not, I would recommend you run CSP 1.75 is now fully released, so I do believe that means RainFX is now available for everyone. But once again, I could be wrong. Besides that, everything else here, this is just kind of default stuff. Go through here, make sure you have all of these installed like that. I need to install. It just helps things. It can actually kind of keep your FPS up and just improve it a little bit. So just go through all of these, make sure you have like, see, here you go, you know. You gotta just update them, keep them updated, check them every maybe once a month, every few months, and you should be good there. But we're going to go into extensions now, and we're going to start with the general patch settings. So of course, you'll want to enable CSP, and these are really the only things that I have changed right here. So add sound delay with distance for audio, so as basically the further away you are, the quieter the audio will be. I think that's you pretty much want. Prevent AC from altering threads affinity. I don't know what that necessarily does, but it's on for optimizations. Now I have, again, a Ryzen CPU, so I don't know if you should really mess with a ton of this stuff, but I mean, you can if you want to. CPU optimization can reduce. You know what, man? I don't know why limit smoke is on 0. Maybe because it's off, probably. But yeah, all that general patch settings, not much to go on to. Of course, all of these FX settings you're gonna want to have on. I actually like for brake FX to have everything kind of on max. It really makes the brake discs glow. Again, have all of these on. I don't have any of these right here. Colorful shadowing is new on CSP 1.76, so make sure you activate this. This, as you can see by the preview, is going to put on basically colorful shadows on your cars for like a banner or things like that, and you will see that in the Audi, the gameplay that I show you later. Extra FX you're going to want to have on. This is going to give you all of the nice eye candy. Now I'm actually going to have motion blur. Motion blur is not on, so I guess it doesn't really matter actually. But local reflections, SSLR, of course you don't want to have that on high. Ambient occlusion actually isn't on because I don't have an Intel CPU, but for NVIDIA, if you do have an Intel CPU, you can mess with this. But for NVIDIA, go through here, just change anything that I have, fog blur, Jesus, and distance multiplier, and simple light bounce. Fake shadows FX, this is going to put shadows under your car. Nothing changed here, just have it active. This is stuff with force feedback, don't really need it. Now, graphic adjustments. This is the newest thing that you need to have on, is AMD Fidelity FX. Even if you have an NVIDIA GPU, whatever GPU you have, CPU you have, whatever, turn this on and you can have it on ultra quality, or I would recommend quality. Balanced or performance is going to have the look a little bit more grainy. And sharpen, I just have it on audio, but you can play around if you like, maybe like a little bit of a sharper image. Sharper means more like pixelated, kind of sort of thing. That's kind of the best way I can describe it if you don't really know what it is. I just have it on auto. Besides that, the quality for post-processing, anti-aliasing up, the FXAA 3 Edge and Fidelity FX, stuff like that. And then my gain for motion blur in the cockpit, or for original AC motion blur, is at 600%. Grass FX, I think everyone has this on. Pretty much every track now that's new and decent has Grass FX. This is going to make 3D grass a thing. Without it, you're just going to have the flat 2D textures. GUI, just have it on. It's pretty much just that. Have the extension active. I wouldn't mess around with any of the settings, though. Lighting FX. Now, this is one you're just going to want to have it on. I have the auto brightness for dynamic and ambient. From what I believe, this just changes the brightness of the image depending on whether you're in the interior or you're interior of a car, or you're in like chase cam or something like that. And dynamic shadows, of course, you're going to want on full resolution, and you're just going to want to drag everything on max. I made a video on my neck FX settings. They haven't changed besides this right here, the horizon lock to track surface. But I guess you can copy that down. But if you want a little bit more detail on neck FX, video will be in the iCard above. New AI behavior. This isn't something with tracks, but you do want this on. New loading screen. This is a new thing with CSP 1.76. You can have it on. It basically just lets you customize your loading screens when you're going into games. Besides that, nice screenshots. I don't really think you need anything. So now you're going to come to Particles FX, and this is basically going to control your sparks, your smoke generation. Especially if you're a big drifter, you're going to want as much smoke as possible so you can get those beautiful screenshots. just, again, I'll pause it, leave it here, change everything on here. Anything that's red, change it. If not, just hit active if you don't have it on yet. And these are just my personal settings. Again, tune this as you need, as you see fit for your computer, or just for what your personal preference is. So 3, 2, 1. Next up, we have Rain FX. The only thing I've actually done is disable with photo mode. I don't know if that actually does anything. To me, it makes it assume like the rain, won't show up in photo mode. So I just have it disabled, but maybe I'll enable it. For my personal preference, everything's just as they are right here, but I personally like small drops or large drops for the bottom ones and small drops for the first person stuff. Better visibility. Reflections FX, this is going to be a big one. This is for interior stuff. Nothing changed here. Just make sure you have it active. Shadowed wheels, active. Skid marks, of course, active. Smart mirror, you're going to want to have your custom render distance active, and you can put however much you want. I'm actually going to crank that up because I forgot to do that. Real mirrors as well, you're going to want to activate. You'll just make it more realistic pretty much, and then more accurate brightness as well. Smart shadows, just have it activated. Don't need to really change much here. Taskbar, of course, you're going to want that activated. That's for all your apps. Track adjustments, got a few things to tune here. Basically, this is just for spectators to have that dynamic thing where in practice, like a private practice session, there isn't anyone there, but if you're doing a race, you will have fans there. So spectators, you're actually going to want to turn that off. Actually hide crew and track demo. That's also smart. But besides that, everything else, leave that there. Those were two things. It's actually kind of nice going through my settings. But besides that, only those two things. Tires FX, of course, you want that active. It's going to have, as you can see by the image here, the deforming tires, the different marks, flat spots, things like that. Weather FX, you're going to want to put Force AI headlights on. It's just easier. And you're going to want to add mirage-like reflections. Now, for the controller script, some people like Sol 2.1, which adds the more AMS2 style slot-based system, but for me personally, for recording, it's easier to just switch things easy on a dime, so I have it on Sol, but you can also run Sol 2.1 if you want more dynamic weather transitions, and of course, you're going to want to make sure your weather script is on Sol as well. Windscreen FX, also make sure to have the most up-to-date Sol. I believe it's like Sol 2.1.3. Windscreen FX, just have the blur amount up. I just like this personally, again, personal preference, but make sure it's active and all that stuff, shadows and all that is on. And besides that, I don't really think this is anything else. I think that is all of these settings, so we can hop into some gameplay now. Okay, so here we are at the Nürburgring, and as you can see, the reflections just look absolutely beautiful. The sunlight dancing off of this beautiful blue Ferrari 488 Pista. We can go back in interior view and pull away here. See the track surface, the light bouncing off into the cockpit. It just looks so nice, and man, it is truly just a treat. Assetto Corsa looks so good. It does really kind of make you think, do we need an Assetto Corsa 2? As I barreled into the wall because I was looking at my OBS. But, the modding team, Peter and Ilya have done such great work for this game. Excuse the very much live commentary driving. This just big shout out, big kudos to them. We can get some rolling shots here. Just looks absolutely stunning. You could tell me that this is a game that came out in 2021 and I would genuinely believe you, because maybe minus the trees, which, by the way, Ilya is actually working on a brand new tree FX to make 3D trees in the game, not the 2D paper trees as you see right there. Paper trees, as I call them, at least. It's very difficult playing Assetto Corsa and Chase Cam. But Let's throw it on to nighttime real quick. Let me make sure I'm in the correct gear. No, I'm not. Do a quick little burnout here, and we can turn on our nighttime. Just spam that, turn the lights on, and as you can see, the reflections on the road from the tail lights, the headlights as well, brake lights, it all just looks so nice. And of course the realistic PP filter as well, or the photorealistic PP filter, it looks so nice. I really do love it. Very balanced and also very realistic looking. It doesn't have the haze that sometimes I do like from Horizon Shades, but other times I feel like it kind of just desaturates everything and makes everything look a little worse quality. But overall, absolutely stunning. I think there's one more thing I want to show you, but we're not going to do live commentary for it. I want to show you the shadows on the cars, as well as the not shadows on the cars, shadows on the interior of the cars, the colored shadows, as well as rain FX. Now, let's take a look at those aforementioned colorful shadows. As you can see here in the Audi Quattro rally car, of course, Group B legend, you can see that the blue banner above us is reflecting the shadows down beautifully around Donington Park. You can see it on the gloves as well. I feel like, I know that the CSP preview image, he actually modded that banner to have the full, like, rainbow color spectrum. I probably should have done that, honestly, for this video, but it still shows it very nicely, and it's a little bit more of a real-world representation of what you actually have to expect. It's not massive, but it's definitely a really nice feature to have, and it's just, again, one of those small things to bring the quality up to just modern day, not 2013, 2014 standards. And, of course, it just looks absolutely beautiful as well. But also, we had the Rain FX gameplay here in the beautiful McLaren MP44 around Suzuka in the rain. Of course, Ayrton Senna. We couldn't do anyone else. And the rain reflections on the road, the puddles showing the sky and the trees around it, absolutely beautiful. Of course, the raindrops as well just look very, very nice. It all just looks so beautiful. And of course, YouTube compression will do what it does, but the reflections off of the MP44's iconic livery, the trees and the rain, the little raindrops on the car thanks to Rain FX, and the reflections again, even on the tires, as you noticed probably in the beginning gameplay in the Aston Martin F1 car at Singapore. It all just looks so beautiful, and you could really, again, tell me that this game is brand new, and I would believe you. It just looks so nice, especially for an almost, well, it is now 7 years old. So yeah, guys, that's all I really have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, a like and a sub would mean a lot. And I hope, especially for those of you who have, PCs on a little bit of the beefier side, maybe you didn't have your graphics fully tuned just the way you liked them, I hope this video helped you out. But besides that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.